Ladies and gentlemen, it has been 18 monthly special events. We've had 6 Golden Gauntlet episodes, and now we are at episode 76 of KPW War Zone live in the Kumite Forum, bringing us to our 100th official KPW event. I have been Tapey Styles, a man calling it right down the middle of the line, solo as always. Been calling the action from the very start, and tonight will be no different because we are jam-packed with action to come here tonight, including our main event of the evening as the Viceroy takes on the Blue Chipper. Jedi goes one-on-one against Bam Dardino. Quite an intense set of circumstances leading into that main event, something that's been brewing for months upon months on end. Certainly a matchup, certainly a main event that will go down in the record books, something quite befitting of a milestone as huge as tonight's. But also still to come a heavy presence of Parliament on tonight's edition of Warzone, as we still await to see the Monarch Oliver English. He made a critical save last week on Warzone on behalf of the World Heavyweight Champion Pando. But the moment that everybody was talking about over the course of the past week was when Oliver English raised that World Heavyweight Championship up high. He's got quite a bit of explanations to make, and we will get plenty of that time later on tonight. Also, still to come, Roger has secured and procured an interview with the man that shocked the world last week with his awe-inspiring return. We're of course talking about the 7'4", 525-pound man beast, Crisp Billy. But speaking of action, speaking of Parliament, they will be involved in at least 2 bouts here tonight. Singles action as the 400-pound muscle of Parliament, one half of Chaos Control. We are of course talking about Papyrus, is going one-on-one against the heartbeat, the heart and soul, the heart throb of Bunker Hill. Is none other than Popo. A true David versus Goliath bout between Bunker Hill and Parliament. And the David versus Goliath dynamic will continue throughout the night. As also still to come, the secret weapon of Parliament. We are of course talking about Hosway. We'll be going one-on-one against the 300-pound misfit, Bawb. A real shift, a real 180 when it comes to the David versus Goliath dynamic there. Really a high octane, high intensity, high impact performance to be guaranteed between these two here tonight. But to kick off things right, to kick off such a historic night, we have to focus on the 2 teams that are looking to make some history here tonight in our KPW Tag Team Championship contenders bout to kick off tonight's festivities. We have to look no further than the Raging Bulls, Mojo Perry, Willie Nixon, as they scratched and clawed their way throughout the past 18 months for the opportunity to call themselves the Tag Team Champions of the world. They must overcome the previous tag team champions, Slarty, Shuko, the First Nation, the winners of this bout, will advance to Euphoria on September 27th to challenge K-Dog and Solo Bunker Hill for the Tag Team Championships. Without further ado, let's get right down to ringside and kick off the night right. Slarty and Shuko, their names have been very much attached to one another from the very beginning here in KPW. Slarty, of course, main evented the first ever KPW event, Spring Stampede, all the way back in 2024. That infamous Four Corners main event between him, Tape, Chris Billy, and a man they call Dang. But Shuko, of course, main evented the first ever War Zone. So they've been certainly a part of the DNA of KPW from the very beginning. And speaking of KPW originals, look no further than the Raging Bulls. Mojo Perry, Willie Nixon, true underdogs. No team's been more befitting of that stature, of that declaration than the Raging Bulls. They've received multiple opportunities to win the Tag Team Championships. Who could forget their war 18 months ago, back in the spring of 2024, against the then Tag Team Champions, David Rush, Hollywood Hand, and the Boise Boys. Big spine buster from Slarty as he kicks this bout off. Irish whip into the ropes. Mojo Perry hanging onto the ropes. First Nation, of course, in their signature black and gray, black and silver apparel. The Raging Bulls as colorful as ever, as vibrant as ever, as rejuvenated as ever. As we've seen a real return to form for these two men, rocking some serious orange and blue attire here tonight.
1, 2.
Willie Nixon with the steel steps. We know the Bulls are not afraid of getting their hands dirty.
1, 2.
Willie Nixon was willing to take it to that extreme right as the bout was kicking off. Raging Bulls, of course, the recipients of 2 Tag Team Championship bouts in KPW's history.
2, 3, 4.
Back at Fully Loaded, back at Hardcore Heaven, they went to war with the Boise Boys. Both efforts coming up short. Became a signature part of our intros, with Willie Nixon in particular getting knocked out, concussed by that running clothesline from Hollywood Hand. And he looks, and Willie Nixon, might I say, he looks to be in fantastic shape here tonight. As he clears the ring of the War Machine, Slarty, the mastermind, Sigma Shuko. Perhaps getting a bit of his ego stuck in the fray there. He was really considering taking on both Raging Bulls at the same time. Trapping in Willie Nixon, Slarty executes some Slick knees to the gut there. A back elbow countered to a reverse armbar courtesy of Willie Nixon. Forearm strike taking down Slarty now. Mojo Perry, Willie Nixon clearing the ring once again.
3, 4.
Slarty introducing his signature barbed wire 2x4. He calls it the Barbie. As he swings it right into the sternum of Willie Nixon. Forearm strike takes down Slarty. Mojo Perry tags in, back body drop. A beautiful segue, courtesy of the Raging Bulls here, as they continue the offense and continue to isolate Slarty. And you gotta give credit where credit's due to both members of the First Nation back at Sabotage. They put up one hell of a fight in that Tag Team Championship Open. They went quite the distance. But I don't think anybody was expecting nor prepared to see the endurance that one half of our current Tag Team Champions put up in that fight, put up in that championship bout, as K-Dog secured the Tag Team Gold for Bunker Hill all by himself. He fought against 7 other men for half an hour. No breaks, no eliminations. We know that if K-Dog was to be eliminated that night, Solo would have stepped in to take his place, and he would have been a fresh man. It would have been an uphill climb for any team that night.
2.
Most importantly, Parliament, with the exception of Oliver English, is in the mud comparatively to Bunker Hill. They have not been able to secure the Tag Team Championships. Hosway has not been successful in regaining the Twitch Championship from his mentor, Popcorn Poppy. Oliver English, I have the key to the kingdom come EUPHORIA, as he goes one-on-one against the Siberian Silver Bear Pando for the World Heavyweight Championship in just 19 days. Willie Nixon, Mojo Perry, looking at double team Slarty once again. Slarty not giving them an inch whatsoever. They've had enough opportunities to manipulate the War Machine. But Slarty's not finished. He wants to be very hands-on with this Tag Team Championship contender here tonight. Headbutts to the back of the head of Slarty. Snap DDT from Willie Nixon. Slarty's back up though. Chuko trying to go for a suplex over the apron. And Willie Nixon counters it with a suplex of his own over that top rope and back into the ring. Chuko being escorted to his corner of the ring there by our head official, Slap Thigh Jones, giving him to the count of 5.
1, 2.
You can't argue with the strategy on display here by the Raging Bulls. It has been incredibly effective going into tonight's championship contender. The motivation, the determination that both of these men feel, Mojo Perry, Willie Nixon, this is the best opportunity that they've had to challenge for the Tag Team Championships in quite some time. Now Mojo Perry, tandem offense here. Wishbone split on Slarty. He's gonna be feeling that in the family jewels. Mojo Perry tossing Slarty out of the ring.
3, 4.
Mojo Perry stands guard inside the ring, keeping Shuko away from his tag team partner as Willie Nixon lays a serious beat down on the outside.
9.
This bout has been firmly in control of the Raging Bulls.
11.
This is why you should never, ever count them out. They may be underdogs, but the underdogs could always find a way to slip through with a good victory.
16. 17.
Down to 17, Slarty needs to rush back into that ring there. Sweep kick to get Willie Nixon away from him, and Slarty beats the count. Arno will tie up waistlock transition from Mojo Perry. Atomic drop towards the center of the ring. This can't be good for the War Machine. Pump handle drop by Mojo Perry. Slarty's still dazed. He might even be a bit confused here. Falcon Arrow. Lateral press. Cover.
3.
And the Raging Bulls advance to Euphoria. Mojo Perry, Willie Nixon, they have to be riding high on cloud 9 after that victory, but they are not out of the woods yet. They've spent the past 76 weeks scratching, clawing, grinding for another opportunity to secure some Tag Team Championship gold. And in just 19 days, they now go up against K-Dog, Solo, Bunker Hill for the Tag Team Championships. A surprisingly dominant performance from the Raging Bulls. First Nation, we know how imposing of a threat they could be. And I think they completely underestimated the Raging Bulls. But it goes to show that their strategy throughout this bout, the dividing and conquering, isolating the heavy man between the First Nation and isolating Slarty away from his tag partner, it proved to be a very effective play. It proved to be highly effective because now the Raging Bulls go march towards Euphoria with the opportunity of a lifetime. They get marched out of the Kumite Forum here tonight with a W next to their name in the record books. Congratulations to Willie Nixon, Mojo Perry, the Raging Bulls. And coming up next, we've been talking about Parliament. We've been talking about their heavy presence here tonight. There's no better way to kick things off than to have the man himself lead by example. The Monarch, Oliver English, will be marching down to the ring at any moment. And speaking of the devil, there he is. Oliver English has quite a bit of explaining to make after last week's altercation at the end of War Zone, grabbing the World Heavyweight Championship that belongs firmly and proudly to Pando. And one has to wonder, how is Oliver English, how is this man gonna weasel his way out of a tried and true ass kicking here tonight?
Listen up, you bums. Tori and I are on the clock, so without further ado, we're gonna cut to the chase. Pando, get your ass down to this ring.
Whoa! Oliver English, he's ready for an ass kicking himself. He's ready to throw down 19 days before EUPHORIA. He's not waiting till the end of the month. He wants his hands full of the champion right now. And asking you shall receive the world heavyweight champion marches down the aisleway with purpose, with malicious intent. Look at the gaze that he's giving to Oliver English. He is not breaking his sight on the monarch here. One has to wonder, what the hell is Oliver English roping himself into here?
Pando, I have been thinking about what to tell you for the past week. And I figured that it would be most appropriate and professional to clear the air. Last week was quite the misunderstanding. I know how much that gold means to you, and I snatched up that title to raise it high in the air. It was wrong of me to do that, it was inexcusable, and Parliament is here to make an offer to you. We feel that with that mishap last week that all of us here are actually indebted to you. We are offering you our services.
What?
We are offering you membership and security for those 20 pounds of studded gold on your shoulder. We want you, bruv. We want you to consider joining Parliament.
He's making the offer to Pando to join Parliament? What the hell's underneath that satin
I know it's
sheet
a loaded
behind them?
request, and I know you're always looking for competition. But sometimes you gotta pump the brakes and take a gaze around to appreciate what you have. Sometimes slowing down will help you appreciate the new things you can have in life. Tori spent the past several nights putting this one together. How would you like to have some new gear befitting of such a valiant champion?
They went out of their way to stitch some new trunks for the world champion. Oh, there's got to be something up with this. There's got to be a catch with Parliament. You always know there's got to be something with Oliver English.
You think some purple trousers are going to stop me from ripping your head clean off at EUPHORIA? Pando doesn't need help defending this championship. But if you want to sweeten the pot, you're going to have to do much better than the gear you make your other goons wear.
Listen, bruv, I know that some purple trunks wasn't going to be enough of an olive branch. I understand your hesitation. So I went forward with my own plan. Pando, you join Parliament and put this hiccup behind us. And you can be the proud owner of a brand new car.
A brand new car? What the hell? Oliver English? He's really going all out for this. Now, I gotta admit, that is a beautiful car that he is willing to offer to Pando here for his services, for his undying loyalty to Parliament. And even the faithful of the forum here tonight, they definitely want Pando to join Parliament. They want him to take the car. They want him to take the trunks.
Pando does appreciate a good vintage. You've scouted well enough. You want consideration for me to join Parliament? I'm going to need some time to think about this offer.
You can have the car now. Consider that a true olive branch from a man you can come to depend upon when the time is right. But I want an answer next week here on War Zone. Let's take this town over. Together.
Oliver English. I'm still trying to comprehend and register what the hell I just heard from this man. What the hell we just witnessed? We knew that there just had to be a catch when Oliver English made his presence felt last week at the end of War Zone when he rushed Bam Dardino and Ricky Rhombus. And now he's going out of his way to make an olive branch with Pando. He wants to bring him into the fold with Parliament. Think of the power. Think how unstoppable Pando already is by himself. If he has an army at disposal, an army that at the command of Oliver English, who the hell's gonna be able to get to his World Heavyweight Championship? And not to mention, that was a damn fine car. When you're going above and beyond with negotiations, he's really making one hell of a bargain to the World Heavyweight Champion. When you're going that far with negotiations, I can see why it'd be such a tough decision for our World Heavyweight Champion. But speaking of Parliament, the secret weapon of Parliament, a man that was recruited to Parliament at the beginning of the summer, we are of course talking about Hosway, goes one-on-one against the 300-pound misfit. It's none other than Bawb.
Mamacita. You want some Latino heat?
Hosway marching down to the ring. You know that Oliver English tour, they want to continue their reign of dominance. They want to continue their foothold here in KPW. I wonder what sort of ideas are floating in the head of Hosway, seeing that he might be replaced by a world champion. And it appears Bawb marching down to the ring with some new entrance music. And this is quite befitting of a misfit. And more importantly, this man is our reigning KPW Hardcore Champion. He is looking for a fight. He is looking for some surefire contenders, some true combatants. And I wonder who's going to be willing to step up to the plate against Bawb and EUPHORIA. And what a hell of a spine buster from Bawb. And he's not wasting any time here. He's transitioned right into that STF lock on Hosway. Suplex attempted by Bawb. Hosway does not apply. He goes dead weight on the misfit. And I don't think he was expecting that one bit. Side suplex from Hosway. This will be our first of two matches involving members of Parliament. Both these matches, of course, incorporating a true David versus Goliath dynamic here. Bawb has a near 100-pound advantage over Hosway here tonight. And we're going to see the dynamic be reversed for Parliament as the 400-pound Papyrus takes on Popo. Coming up next. As the second time that Hosway has countered that snap suplex belly to belly from Hosway. And when Hosway made his presence felt in a hardcore championship gauntlet back in May,
6, 7,
He really got to showcase exactly how
10,
bright of a star he could truly be.
11,
He joined Parliament
12,
because of the sway
13,
that Oliver English had,
14,
a man with the silver
15.
tongue. Man, that's been
1,
promising Hosway golden opportunities, and
3,
he marched into Parliament with that Twitch Championship back in June, back at Summer Spark. Jawbreaker from Hosway. Carl elbow tie up. Bawb with the Irish whip reversal. Hosway countering into a Hurricane Rana cover. Both knees on the shoulders. Another collar and elbow tie up. Irish whip once again here. Hosway looking to go for a forearm strike. Hosway just has an answer each and every time for Bob's attempts at going for a big suplex.
1,
And this is a man that is almost 7 feet tall here. He is no laughing matter whatsoever. Irish whip reversal for Bawb here. And a hellacious power slam from Bawb. And he continues the attack by trying to choke the life out of Hosway. Inside cradle from the secret weapon. Elbow tie up. Bawb tosses Hosway out of the ring. Bawb looks to meet him on the outside.
3,
Irish whip into the steps.
5,
And Hosway came crashing back first.
7,
Bawb finally successful
8,
with the suplex. He's been looking for that all match.
10,
Bawb contemplating using the steel steps against Hosway even further. Monkey flip from Hosway, using Bob's momentum against him. You just know Hosway has to be fired up. He has quite a lot to prove here in KPW. He knows that the Monarch, at this point in time especially, is watching over him.
5, 6,
A misfit. Bawb meeting Hosway on the outside here, looking to go for a low blow, but Hosway had his guard up.
9,
Bawb slides underneath the bottom rope. Hosway leaps over the top. Our hardcore champion, Bawb. Wrist lock applied. Hosway going for a hook kick, but Bawb ducks the hook kick. But he didn't have a counter to the heel kick to the back of the neck of Bawb. Another hellacious power slam from Bawb. And now he's going right back to that choke. I'm half convinced that this man, with any lack of regulations in this bout, I'm sure he would have opted to go for the eyes of Hosway instead of the throw. It's still an underhanded tactic, no matter how you spin it. I don't think he gives a damn about that. Samoan drop from Bawb. Marching around the ring, sidewalk slam.
1,
And this could be it. Cover, and Hosway gets the shoulder up. This bout continues. Quick shin strikes from Hosway. Now he's looking for a leg lock on the big 300-pound misfit Bawb. And with the size difference between Hosway and Bawb, Bawb going to the top rope here. Senton onto Hosway. Irish whip reversal. Bawb looking for a standing clothesline. Hosway going for a head scissors takedown. elbow to the back of the neck of Hosway. Bawb calling for Hosway to get back to his own 2 feet here. Collar elbow tie up. Hosway looking to go for a cutter. Bawb reciprocates and counters with a released German suplex, dumping Hosway onto his neck. Bawb trying to get a good grip on Hosway here. He's looking to go for that signature choke slam of his. Last caress towards the center of the ring, hooking the leg for extra leverage.
3. Pinfall.
And the Misfit, our hardcore champion, emerges victorious. And look at the height that Bawb was able to lift the Hosway up to. But that last caress chokeslam, it has got Bawb very far here in KPW. It's made him a Twitch champion. It's made him a tag team champion simultaneously at that. And moves like that is exactly why he is our current reigning and defending KPW Hardcore Champion. He's sending one hell of a message to the rest of that locker room. If you want to take the Hardcore Championship away from me, if you want a crack at this at EUPHORIA on the 27th, you're gonna need to be an elite level combatant here. Because even with the skill set, even with the speed and agility, the athleticism that Hosway has in his repertoire, it was still not enough to put down the Misfit. Congratulations to Bawb on a hellacious victory here tonight. Coming up next, more Parliament-centric action as the 400-pound muscle of Parliament, Papyrus, goes one-on-one against the heartthrob representing Bunker Hill. We are, of course, talking about Popo. This is exactly what we were talking about just moments before when we were talking about the David versus Goliath dynamic going into some of these matches here tonight. We saw how it worked out between Hosway and Bawb. Well, now the Goliath of Parliament awaits his challenger. He awaits the heartthrob. He awaits Popo. And now Popo is gonna have to duke it out with a man over twice his size. Popo is no discount here. Do not underestimate a man with the resume of Popo, a former Twitch champion, a former hardcore champion. He's challenged for the World Heavyweight Championship before. If anybody has the tools to put down a man like Papyrus, it would certainly be Popo. Papyrus is not making any mistakes trying to underestimate a heartthrob here tonight. He knows that Popo could find a way to sneak away and out of the forum here tonight with a victory. Popo trying to body slam a 400-pounder, and he gets it. He was looking to lift him up where he belonged. Because the bigger you are, the harder you fall. And more of that high impact is going to take its toll on a 400-pounder like Papyrus. He cannot afford to leave his 2 feet as often as Popo. And Popo back at it with another body slam. And this is a great idea from the heartthrob, trying to get in these body slams while he's still fresh, while he still has the energy to pull it off here. Back body drop using Papyrus's own momentum. This has not been a great night for Parliament here tonight. It has the potential to be something quite beautiful if they successfully recruit the world heavyweight champion, the Siberian Silver Bear Pando, into the fold. A decision that may sit as controversial. Popo going for another body slam. And he kips up. Popo kips up after a body slam to a 400-pound man. And Papyrus, for lack of a better phrasing, for lack of a better term, he's getting his ass handed to him right about now. Oh my God! And now Popo clears the ring here. Vaulting plancha over the top rope, but down onto Papyrus. He had one hell of a human crash pad to land on there.
7, 8, 9, 10,
and
11.
And Papyrus, he can't get any sort of leverage onto Popo. He can't get any sort of advantage.
14.
And as we've seen in the past here, the past several months, the only member of Parliament that's been able to shake any of this into success, anything into chicken salad, has been the monarch himself, Oliver English. He has at least 2 victories over this man. He is a man with a World Heavyweight Championship match at EUPHORIA.
1.
Side scissor kick takes Popo over the top rope and down to the floor.
4.
And finally, Papyrus
5,
might have a chance in this fight. Popo. And backed into a corner. Popo trying to stay quick on his feet, quick on his wits. He's been very successful so far trying to outmaneuver the big man here tonight. Side suplex by Papyrus. Papyrus clears the ring, trying to get any opportunity he can to get some room to recuperate, time to breathe, time to re-strategize here. Because whatever he's trying to do here tonight, whatever he's been trying to do for the past 5 minutes, it just hasn't been working whatsoever. Quick jab from Papyrus. Body shots for the gut of Popo. Trying to figure out some sort of weak point on the heartthrob. Papyrus lifted up, scooped and slammed by Popo once again here. He's really making these body slams into one hell of a routine. Vertical suplex from the Goliath of Parliament. Shoulder breaker by the big man. And it looked like he was about to continue his assault here on Popo. Popo literally kicking Papyrus away here. Inside cradle.
Count two.
And I thought for sure that Popo was gonna squeak out the victory with that inside cradle. Popo, I think he's starting to run out of adrenaline. I think the wear and tear of this bout is finally starting to catch up to him. He wasn't able to secure that body slam on Papyrus here. Short-arm clothesline, ducked by Popo, transition to a back suplex. And I'm never gonna be surprised at how Popo was able to get Papyrus off his feet here. But now he's gonna be on his back after some Texas T. Cover!
1, 2, 3, pinfall.
And all over English, he has to be banking everything that he has on pulling the world heavyweight champion into Parliament here. He has to be hedging a lot of his bets on this negotiation that he made, because both Hosway and Papyrus have fallen short in their efforts here tonight. They were not able to put down Bawb. They were not able to put down Popo. And Bunker Hill's fight against Parliament continues to be fruitful, continues to be successful. As we get another look at the heartthrob as he sizes him up for a Texas T, catching him right on the jaw. His head might be in the second or third row. He turned Papyrus into a damn rock'em sock'em robot with that kick. Boom. The pressure is on for Parliament in the span of just half an hour. Congratulations to Popo and Bunker Hill as a whole in their efforts of holding back Parliament from their greater vision as their war continues week in and week out. But coming up next, we'll be seeing the returning 7'4", 525-pound man beast Chris Billy, interviewed in the middle of our ring here tonight. And immediately following that, our main event of the evening, as the Viceroy takes on the Blue Chipper, two former world heavyweight champions slugging it out in the main event here tonight at our 100th official event. Jedi goes one-on-one against Bam Dardino.
Ladies and gentlemen, my guest here tonight set the world ablaze last week with his thunderous return on War Zone. please give a warm welcome to the 7'4", 525-pound man beast, Chris Billy.
I don't know how the hell Roger continues to be as calm and as collected as he's ever been. We've seen how these things have gone before in the past regarding him and Chris Billy. I don't know if it's courage, I don't know if it's bravery. Personally, I consider it stupidity. But he's willing to get in the middle of the ring and interview this man about his intentions after he beat down Corey Sinclair last week.
Last week, you answered the challenge of an irate Corey Sinclair. And by the looks of things, the two of you will lock up at EUPHORIA on the 27th. Do you have any messages you would like to relay personally?
And we just knew that Chris Billy was going to be very physical with his messaging, very personal about it. It appears that Roger has not learned anything from the last time that he tried to conduct an interview with this force of nature.
Knockout.
You fall for it once, shame on you. You fall for it again, shame on yourself. Chris Billy making his intentions incredibly clear. Especially regarding the king of stego style, Corey Sinclair, as he delivers a thunderous chokeslam to our resident interviewer. It shouldn't go without saying, but that's an old man that he just drilled right into the center of the ring. You just know that Roger's gonna be walking around with a pacemaker over the course of the next several weeks. As I'm receiving word here, we'll be seeing Chris Billy returning to singles action next week on War Zone, as he will be going one-on-one against the secret weapon of Parliament, Hosway. Incredible breaking news there from the board of directors. And you just knew, you just get the feeling that when Chris Billy returns home to KPW, it wouldn't quite be KPW without his presence, without the chaos that seems to follow that man. And speaking of chaos, look no further than the Viceroy, Jedi. This man was World Heavyweight Champion for 218 days. No man has been able to match that yet. And then you look at the polar opposite. A man that's very much still bitter about the way things went. The blue chipper, the 2025 Lethal Lottery winner, Bam Dardino. A man that held on to that World Heavyweight Championship for just 12 days. Now marches down to the ring. Main event action underway. High intensity, high impact. tensions flooding in the Kumite Forum here tonight. Jedi taking on Bam Dardino for the first time ever here in our main event of War Zone. And speaking of intense action, high octane action, next week we'll be seeing more action as one half of the KPW Tag Team Champions, K-Dog, was one-on-one against the mastermind of the First Nation, Sigma Shuko, in singles competition. And as we're also learning here, we'll be seeing two potential contenders for Bob's Hardcore Championship at EUPHORIA, as the director Steven Gilbert goes one-on-one against the man that shocked the world last week when he knocked out the Viceroy. We're of course talking about the prize fighter Venom Artemis.
40.
Also coming next week on Warzone, we'll be seeing the star attraction France's greatest export, Pierre Cinema, in singles competition. And of course, one of our biggest developments over the course of the past hour, we'll be awaiting the answer from our world heavyweight champion, Pando. Will the Siberian Silver Bear join Parliament? Find out in just 1 week time at 9/8 Central next Monday night on Warzone. As we continue to bring you some of the most unforgettable action across all of professional wrestling, the home of fighting spirit. Really an environment where these men, these elite level combatants, they can excel from bell to bell. And they've been doing so week in and week out for the past 18 months, an unparalleled run. For such a high caliber, high demanding environment such as Kumite Pro Wrestling. Wrist lock by Bam Dardino, drilling the elbow into the shoulder blade of Jedi as he works down all the joints of the Viceroy. And what a complicated history that these two men seem to have. They have quite the mutual link as well. In Pierre Cinema, Bam Dardino at one point in time was the best friend of Pierre Cinema, running powerbomb into the corner by Bam Dardino, by the blue chipper. Standing clothesline takes Bam Dardino out of the ring and down to the floor.
4.
Heavy strikes from the Viceroy as he maintains dominance of the ring here tonight.
4. 5.
Getting a roundhouse kick from Jedi, recoiling off of those ropes. And look at the speed, the athleticism on display here from these two men here tonight. Jedi looking to go for a neck breaker. Bam Dardino counters it into a power slam. Jedi with the low blow to Bam Dardino. Northern Lights suplex into the corner. Bam Dardino with the rope break. The official slap thigh Jones right on top of the action, ready to call it as he sees it. Another rope break awarded to Bam Dardino. T-bone suplex. And this could be a real battle of devastating maneuvers here. The sledgehammer versus the wham bam thank you ma'am. Bam Dardino with the stump puller. Jedi with a standing front headlock on a sitting Bam Dardino now. You could just feel the heat here. You could feel the intensity between these two men. Bam Dardino at one point in time took a bullet for Pierce Cinema, courtesy of the Viceroy, a little over a year ago, ahead of their first encounter at Summer Spark in 2024. And who can forget about that intense trilogy of bouts that Jedi and Pierce Cinema had, all of which you can find on KOD Kumite On Demand, where you can find the previous 75 editions of War Zone, all 18 monthly special events, and all 6 episodes of the Golden Gauntlet Round Robin. Suicide dive through the middle ropes. And Jedi's not wasting any energy. He's not wasting any breath.
8, 9, 10,
He's looking to go for the kill here on the outside.
12.
Bam Dardino whipped into the steps. Jedi pulling Bam towards the center of the ring. And this could be it for Bam. He's in perfect position to be recipient of the sledgehammer cover.
2, 3, pinfall.
And just like that, another routine performance for the Viceroy. Jedi's been waiting to get his hands on Bam Dardino for quite some time. What the hell is this? Ricky Rhombus, the tag team partner for Bam Dardino, the other half of the Bam Bus, rushing down to the ring. Looking to provide one hell of an assist for his tag partner. A man that's not even conscious. He's being tended to by Asa on the outside there. And it appears that the tensions have still not been qualmed. They still haven't been settled. Ricky Rhombus is not going to allow the Viceroy to get even with him. He wants to stay one leg up on Jedi. We thought that Falls Count Anywhere match at Sabotage was going to settle the score. Ricky Rhombus with the bat. Jedi and Ricky Rhombus were looking to square down. They were looking to take this to another level, but Pierre Cinema is now marching down to the ring. And he's got quite the ugly history with everybody in this ringside area. Who is Pierre Cinema gonna put his hands on first?
Fight.
And Pierre goes for Ricky Rhombus. Jedi, he's just letting Pierre Cinema take care of his business. Pierre Cinema seemingly making the save for the Viceroy, even in the score here. And he is just wailing away on Ricky Rhombus. Him and Bam Dardino are responsible for getting that World Heavyweight Championship away from Pierre Cinema. Just a month ago, just 30 days ago, this man was our World Heavyweight Champion, and he drills Ricky with a brainbuster. He clearly hasn't let that time go. He clearly hasn't let the Lethal Lottery contract cash in become a thing of the past here. Here, Cinema has been looking for redemption, but I think more importantly, he's looking to tie up loose ends here tonight. I think most importantly, the Bam Bus, they forgot just exactly who they screwed over. Starstruck DDT. And Pierre Cinema just let the world know that his business with the Bam Bus is not quite finished. He's also looking for retribution. He is looking to get closure after the Bam Bus have been hounding him for the past several months. He can't seem to get away from Bam Dardino in particular as he's marching up to the aisleway here. And he's staring down the Viceroy. Clearly the tensions between these two men haven't settled down either. As he's mouthing to Jedi, "You don't owe me nothing. We're even now." What the hell could that possibly mean? But one thing's for sure. One thing that this certainly means is that next week on Warzone, we will be seeing Pierre Cinema take on Ricky Rhombus in singles action. And that is all the time we have. I've been Tapey Styles, the only man that can call the action right down the middle, flying solo as always. Thank you all for joining us for the past 100 events here for KPW. We'll be kicking off another one next week. Good